Rev up your engines!
Frosty 1967. I got an '06 Chrysler PT Cruiser, 123,000 miles. The computer has most of the time it won't shift gears, a bunch of warning lights. I can't even drive it. Definitely get rid of the stupid thing. I mean, it's an '06 Cruiser, 123,000 miles. It's worth practically nothing. And from my experience of working on my customers' cars, that's the time to get rid of them before you start throwing a bunch of money into a useless pile of junk that just falls apart in front of your very eyes. They were horrible vehicles. They looked cool. And originally, they sold the heck out of them because they were like mini gangster cars. They were kind of cool looking, right? But they were made like garbage. Head gasket problems, automatic transmission problems, air conditioning problems, in your case, computer failure problems, and they'll never be worth anything. It's 14 years old now. Hopefully you had a few years and got some of your money out of it. Just get rid of the thing, get yourself a Toyota or Honda, and forget ever buying another Chrysler product. Because if you think a 2006 one's bad, that was before Fiat owned Chrysler. Now Fiat owns them, they're even worse. Pop Sports 05 says, how hard is it to program the key for a 16 Ford Focus? Do you have to take it to the dealer? First thing you do whenever you do any of those keys is call around in your area to professional locksmiths. These days, a lot of locksmiths, some of their biggest profit things is doing keys for cars and trucks, because the dealers generally you. It's a good market for these locksmiths. I had a customer that was going to go to the dealer with a Prius, and they wanted over $1,000. He had lost his key to do it and reprogram the car. I sent him to a locksmith, really nice Pakistani American dude. He did the whole thing for $375. So you want to call in your area real locksmiths that do that kind of stuff, because let's face it, they don't have the overhead of a dealer, and so they can do things a lot lower price and still make a profit, because they can buy those keys for $20, $30, $40 a lot of times, and then they just have to program them. And if they have the equipment to program them, go that route. Don't start at the dealer. You're not going to be able to just go to a hardware store like you used to be able to get a key made for those things. No, but a lot of locksmiths do that stuff. Call around. Austin Burke asks, I got an '05 Civic Automatic and the RPM is really high till it shifts. What could be the problem? Pray you're low on fluid. Check the fluid, but odds are the transmission's starting to wear out. That's how Hondas wear out. If you find that you just drive normally and it goes real high RPMs until it shifts, and when it starts getting high RPMs, if you take your foot off the gas and then it shifts, it means the transmission's breaking down internally. Pretty typical. I see that as they age. If it's got a lot of mileage on it, that's what's happening. But I mean, you can try changing the fluid. The filter doesn't really even have one. My experience with those, take your foot off the gas and then it shifts earlier, that means the transmission's starting to go out. Jake Duncan, he says, I got a 2008 regular cab Tacoma, no rust, 148,000 miles. I dream about getting a newer one, but I hear some problems with some of them. Should I sell it and upgrade it, or should I just drive mine till it's over 300,000 miles? Well, you kind of answered your question in the end there. Yeah, just keep driving it. Those things can run an awful long time. I've seen ones that are 35 years old and they're still running good. Even at that age, they still run really well. Keep what you got. These things are solid built. They can last an awful long time. As long as you're not having any serious problems with it, don't overheat the engine, who knows how long that thing's going to last. They'll go out and throw your money out. Now you already got one that still works perfectly fine. You said it has no rust, so just keep driving it. Tommy G6, Scotty, I got a 95 Ranger, 2-wheel drive, 5-speed. Shakes when I go over 65. Change the brakes, rotors, tires, and it still shakes. Some people said it could be a bent drive shaft or suspension. Here is the first thing that you start out with, is go to a very good front-end alignment shop. Have them check your alignment, because it's not all that common, but I'd say that 3 or 4 out of every 100 cars I see that shake like that, and all that stuff's been done, it was that the alignment was off. It can be that your alignment is off and it will shake at certain speeds. It's not all that common, but it does happen, so you want to start there. Not that, it's a Ranger, so it's rear-wheel drive. You got a big old drive shaft with U-joints. If your U-joints are worn, it's going to be wobbling around. Have a guy check the drive shaft. It's pretty easy to jack it up, turn it, see if it's bent or see if the U-joints are worn. That can do that too. But sometimes it's an alignment. It's not all that common, but I've seen it, and it often fools people when they think, well, they put new tires and stuff. But if they didn't do the alignment is off, It can make them shake at certain speeds. Arctic Kai, what are your thoughts on the 1982 Datsun 720 pickup? When Nissans were called Datsuns back in the day, those things could run forever. I had customers with those things. They go through the washing machine. They'd been through hurricanes here in Texas, and they were still going down the road. Now, they weren't racing vehicles, but with the standard transmission, they were fast enough, and they weren't giant F-150s that could haul tons of stuff, haul enough stuff for a truck that size. They were actually, back in the day, kind of running neck and neck with the Toyota little pickup trucks. They were well-made pickup trucks. Went another way later when Renault took over the company, but that wasn't until 2000. Back in 82, those things are solid. If you're thinking about buying one now and it isn't all rusted, go ahead. They can be great vehicles. Random Dave, I got an 08 Jeep Patriot with 121,000 miles. I've had it since 60,000 miles. I'm not sure if the manual fluid has ever been changed. Well, yeah, definitely change it. Manual transmissions are splash lubrication. There's just gears and they splash around, and definitely change it. You don't want dirty stuff in it. It's not all that important. You want to do it every once in a while to keep the dirt out, but an automatic transmission, the fluid dynamics are what make it actually shift. So yeah, on a manual transmission, definitely you want to change that fluid. If it has been in there a long time, it will wear things out over years of getting the seals dirty and the gears dirty, and the fluid's cheap. It's easy to do too. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.